James Robinson was a top 8 running back last year. Is his stock on the rise? We don't like to see injuries, but obviously it's a big part of fantasy football. Travis Etienne, a mid-foot sprain. We'll talk about that. We'll also give you a little update on Darrell Henderson and what you should be doing with the Rams and the Jaguars backfields. Welcome to a bonus edition of Fantasy Football Today. This is not our Tuesday podcast. Please, if you haven't heard our Tuesday podcast, we recorded a long one yesterday with league winners in every round, so please make sure you check that out. But we didn't want to go a full day without talking about the big injury news. So a mid-foot sprain for Etienne. He's going to have more testing. Dave, what's your initial reaction to this? And Jamie's here as well. We'll hear from him in a moment. Dave, what's your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is that I don't want to draft Travis Etienne in any round in any seasonal redraft league, but give me James Robinson, baby, because he's going right back to where he was before the NFL draft. I love it. I think he's really in a position where he's going to get a lot of work. The target volume should now be back to where it was. I don't expect Etienne. I don't know if Etienne plays this year. I'll be honest. And I think there's a real chance that he doesn't. It's a significant injury. We've seen these Liz Frank injuries before. It has ruined careers before. And I think he's going to end up being just fine. I'm ready to take James Robinson in round 3.
Okay, so hold on. So right now it's Tuesday. What day is today? Tuesday morning.
The 24th.
10 a.m. Eastern. And we don't know much. But it is possible that this is a big, long injury. So
I'm assuming that it's going to put Etienne on the shelf for a while.
Okay. But
until I hear otherwise.
We'll react. We will keep as the news comes in. But we wanted to at least give something now. Jamie, are you as doom and gloom as Dave? Excuse me.
Well, I mean, most likely he's going to go on short-term IR. I mean, just based on what you know about this injury, mid-foot sprain, it's a tough situation. And look, you never know what Jacksonville's aspirations are, but I would imagine they want to make sure that their second first-round pick is not going to rush back on the field in a season where they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. So why risk it? So I would assume that they're going to take their time with this. Again, I would think short-term IR is the first thing you'll hear, maybe the entire season. So I'm not ready to say don't draft him yet today, but by the end of the day, that could certainly change. And if that changes, like I move Robinson into the round 4 range, I think round 3 is probably it's a little on the high side, but he's going to be close to that. For whatever stupid reason, they're going to use Carlos Hyde because they're stupid. Which is going to be frustrating, to watch.
There's the stupid reason right there.
Yeah, I guess so. So I don't think James Robinson is in as good of a place as he was last year because he was so much the focal point. But he's pretty close to that, So this is encouraging for anybody who drafted. I've done I think like 5 or 6 drafts already that are being played out. And so I went last night just to take a look at the people who drafted James Robinson. And those are the ones that you say, oh, wow, they drafted a third running back that now could be easily a starter for them. So those are the ones that benefit. And then you just feel bad for the people that drafted Travis Etienne.
So right now with Darrell Henderson.
But that offense looks absolutely awful right now.
It looks terrible.
They played without 3 of their starting offensive line.
Yeah, and 2 of them may be hurt to start the season too. So it's not exactly hurt.
But they do look bad. And this is the second week they look really bad in the preseason.
But their backups look awesome.
They were horrible last year. They had one of the worst scoring offenses last year. And there actually, believe it or not, has been at least one top 12 running back on a team that was bottom 5 in scoring 6 straight years. Todd Gurley in 2015, then Jordan Howard and Duke Johnson the following year. Duke Johnson only in PPR. Then David Johnson the following year. Then Joe Mixon. In 2019, he was
Mixon did something good.
Number 12 in non-PPR, number 13 in full PPR. And then last year, James Robinson and Melvin Gordon, who was 12 in non and 13 in full. So we've seen guys, if you can dominate touches on a bad offense, a bottom 5 offense, you can still finish top 12. Not finish top 5, but you can still finish top 12. And that's what Robinson did last year. But he really dominated carries. I mean, it was basically nobody getting carries other than Robinson last year. Dare Ogunbowale, I think, had 32. He was second on the team, and almost all of his came when Robinson was out in the last couple of games of the season. So Darrell Henderson or James Robinson, if you were drafting today, and People might be drafting today, so that's why I'm doing this podcast, but we will know hopefully more about Etienne soon and the severity of the injury. But would you rather take Darrell Henderson, who has a mild thumb sprain, reportedly won't miss week 1, or James Robinson?
If Etienne is out, then Robinson. If Etienne's going to play at some point this season, then I'll take Henderson.
So you're saying if Etienne's out for the year? What if he's on? What if he's out the first 6 weeks?
If he's on any sort of IR, I'll take Robinson. If he's not on IR, and they're going to play it out where he can try and come back, then I'd take Henderson.
I may reluctantly agree if somehow Etienne is going to be back in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But I don't think this is a good look for Henderson because he's dealt with nagging injuries before. They just lost one of their other running backs to an injury. So they've got a potential roster spot open for them to bring in another running back.
So does Jacksonville if they put Etienne on IR.
No, I'm talking about the Rams.
I know, but so does Jacksonville. They have the opportunity to bring another running back too.
Yeah, that's true, but they're not going to find another running back quite like Etienne. So I'm not sure what they would do.
But the Rams would?
No, the Rams have very little depth behind Darrell Henderson that they can look at and say, all right, that's reliable. That's consistent experience that they can count on. So I wonder if this is something that's just going to make those coaches say, all right, screw it. Let's call a veteran, or, maybe they make a trade for Latavius Murray or something like that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I think the Rams aren't done with their shaping their running back room yet. And that makes me a little nervous about Henderson.
Okay. So if you're looking at the later running backs, Carlos Hyde, Xavier Jones, Jake Funk, who's the highest ranked of those three?
Still Xavier Jones.
Sorry, I was singing the Brodus Clay.
Oh my gosh. Guys, breaking news. Today is Xavier Jones's birthday.
Nice.
Yes. Happy birthday.
He's going to be rewarded by being the first team running back in practice.
That's all right. Yesterday was Taysom Hill's birthday, and he didn't get the start, and they lost the job.
Lost the starting job.
I
like Xavier Jones of the guys you said.
Do we have to? Yeah, but Hyde is going to have a role, and I do wonder.
Yeah, but he's not exciting.
No.
The only way he becomes interesting in fantasy is if Robinson gets hurt.
This is going to be the annoying player to deal with this year is Carlos Hyde.
Who has
there's going to be a lot of those, but he's one of them.
Who has the third down role for Jacksonville?
It'll be Robinson.
Hopefully it's Robinson. This is very good news for Laviska Shenault for anybody who was concerned about Etienne stealing that job. More slot opportunities if that was going to be a case. But
very true.
They got to protect Trevor Lawrence a little bit better. He's got to look a little bit better, and those guys got to do a little bit better overall.
All right, so week 1 is at Houston. Myles Gaskin or James Robinson?
Again, if Etienne is on any sort of IR, I will take Robinson. If not, I'll take Gaskin.
And I'm assuming that Etienne will be on one of those IRs, so Robinson's ahead of Gaskin for me.
Hopefully we'll have more information for you later and be able to talk about it in our Wednesday episode. We always record a day early, so that's why we're not recording in the morning. I didn't want to go a full day without reacting to this. Then in that case, Marquez, Callaway, or Corey Davis?
Davis.
I think I like Callaway a little bit better.
Yeah, you have hopefully a 5-game window of Callaway being the number 1 guy there, and then we'll see. Davis could be the number 1 guy for the Jets, so I'll take him.
Man, Callaway looks so good.
He looked good against the bad defense's backups.
He looked good last week too against Baltimore, and he had his moments last year.
He's a good player, but he's doing that without anybody healthy around him.
I know. I'm worried that people are really overrating Corey Davis in a major way,
and they're not doing that to Marcus Callaway.
I think both of these guys are like at best mid-round picks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I've seen people talk about Corey Davis like he's a round 6 pick.
Yeah, but we had that conversation yesterday. Now, if we had the same conversation with the same Twitter polls, I would imagine Marcus Callaway is going to be ahead of Juju Smith-Schuster too.
I don't know.
That would
because of
my mind.
Michael Thomas lurks, but anyway, somebody maybe can help you get off to
Thomas has to worry about Callaway. It's not the other way around.
Thomas has to worry about Callaway.
Thomas has to worry about Callaway. He's not going to go away when Michael Thomas. I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
I am telling you.
Not the other way around.
You can do that silly little laugh all you want, Jamie. Callaway is not going to go away when Michael Thomas comes back. It's going to be an interesting offense, and Jameis is a downfield thrower. Now you're just laughing for show. Right? You're a better actor than your cousins right now. Callaway, I'm not saying he's going to be better than Thomas, but Thomas isn't going to be this superstar target getter that he's been the past couple of years. Callaway's going to get his work.
I just wanted to clarify what you meant, not that Callaway was going to be better than Michael Thomas.
No, I'm still drafting Thomas ahead of Callaway and Thomas ahead of Corey Davis too.
But you're saying that when Thomas gets back, he will have to contend with a number 2 receiver.
He's not going to get 10 targets a game every single week.
Okay. All right.
Period.
That's it for this bonus pod. Thanks for listening, everybody. We have got the most polarizing players in fantasy football dropping tomorrow, and we'll keep you updated on any major news, obviously, as it breaks. For Dave Richard and Jamie Eisberg, I'm Adam Azer, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on